Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well this morning. We're getting very close to Liberation Day. We've had quite a few hot headlines coming out this morning. So looking forward to getting stuck into this.
Good
Hey, Paul.
morning,
Good
Giles.
morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Going all right? How are you? You okay?
I'm good. How was things with your son last night? Did he
Yeah, it was
did he
very good.
pass?
He had glowing reports across the board. So
Of course
he did really, really well. And it's more like he's kind of at the top of the class with subjects.
Okay.
So the issue there is like he's often finished the work before the rest of the class. So
Okay.
talking to the teacher, say, well, what can he do in that dead time? How can he make the most of it? Which is, I know, is a frustration for him, and
Yep.
it's tricky for the teacher because sort of directing to the center of the class, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Yep.
Konstantinos. Yeah, so he did yeah, very well.
That's great. Proud dad.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, yeah, really nice. So it was a nice feeling actually to go there and like that.
Yeah, everyone's glowing. That's great. Yeah, it's one of the downsides of maybe the more public education spaces. If you have kids, like you sort of get dragged to the lowest common denominator, which is, you kind of you have to go to the speed of the person who might be struggling the most. Not that they are, but kind of you skew in that direction as opposed to, okay, what about the top performers? Sometimes there's less for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's kind of problems either way. If it goes too quickly for you or too slowly for you, and that's and so my son's very efficient. So he's like, well, I'm wasting my time here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's more like that kind of style, you know.
yeah, type A. That's good.
Yeah, like this is a waste of my time. What am I doing here? What's the point?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Know the spec better than the teachers. Do you know what I mean?
Right, right.
But he'll
No,
ask
that-
questions and and then afterwards he's like, I knew he didn't know what he was talking about. I said, and he goes, I just don't say it because I want to keep my likability high.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
go.
What we're going to do is crack on with the rundown. So the rundown is taking a look at equity markets. They are enjoying a little bit of an uptick from yesterday's lows. And the sentiment out there is just towards dip buying because I think the market's coming to terms with what's anticipated in terms of the Liberation Day, 20% blanket tariffs. Now, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and it's uncertain which tariff plan Trump is actually going to execute. And the kind of base case is that it's 20% on everything. Now, the question is how long is it going to last? Are there going to be exemptions? Which countries will get exemptions? What will be the conditions for the exemptions? So there's so many questions out there. It's just really unknown. Now, the announcement is due to be on Wednesday, tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So it should be after our session tomorrow. So just watch out for a lot of volatility tomorrow afternoon. We've also got trade recommendations coming from federal agencies in today. So watch out for headlines breaking. We also had geopolitical headlines breaking with Russia not accepting US ideas regarding the Russia-Ukraine peace deal. And Russia said they don't take account of Moscow's need for the root causes of crisis to be addressed. So this is always what we thought. The problem with Russia and peace negotiations is it comes down to lots of itty tiny bitty details, and they can just keep hammering away at these details and delaying the inevitable. From Russia's perspective, they see Ukraine as part of Russia, as part of the old Russian Empire. Very difficult to get a deal done. So be interesting to see what Trump does with that. And it's, a more negative sentiment coming out of Russia this morning. Base metals were supported by Chinese manufacturing data, which came out pretty strong overnight. You can just see here manufacturing for China. Where are we? China. Here, 51.2. So in expansionary territory and slightly better than markets were expecting. That's just sort of lifting demand for base metals overnight. And then we've got important US data out. We've got jobs and ISM at 3. So, watch out for the dollar. If that comes in below.
Fed's Barkin says the Fed's 2019 framework does not feel contemporary.
And of course, we've got Barkin speaking as well at the moment, Fed speaker. So he's on the wires as we're doing the opening session. We've got the ISM manufacturing PMIs and jobs. So that'll be important. We'll come back to that at 3. But the dollar, as you can see, continues to be quite weak, and the dollar is not having as much appeal right now because Trump's tariffs are expected to be inflationary and to slow US growth. So despite all the risk, the dollar's hardly been getting any safe haven bids. That's a concern, really. It shows that there's a lot of uncertainty about the path of the dollar, and you can see that precious metals, gold, has just been benefiting so much by, and you can see a nice flag pattern. Look at that flag pattern, beautiful flag pattern. That's one. I think you'll appreciate that, Brian. Look at that. That is virtually a perfect flag pattern. That's really what a good one should look like. Strong flagpole, pullback, 45-degree angle, so parabolic, pullback, and then the breakout is just fantastic. Look at that, and it probably nearly hit target there as well. So gold continues to find safe haven bids, and we are also getting safe haven bids in the currency space. You can see the yen getting bids here, and the Swiss franc. Let's just refresh that page. All right. Yen, Swiss franc, strongest currencies of the day, and the rest of them pretty much mixed. Euro a little bit weaker on that dollar strength. But safe havens, yen, Swiss franc, gold, but the dollar finding a little bit of bids today. Now, watching the incoming data will be important for the dollar. If this comes in super hot, really strong, above 8.05, and this is above 50.8, then I'd expect the dollar to increase on that. So we'll be keeping an eye on that at 3 o'clock. Apart from that, that is the major things for us to be looking at. So looking at the E-mini as we come to the session, we're bouncing between major value areas because this is the value area low from the 28th of March, right? We're opening up inside yesterday's value area. We had that dip down during our session, and then price kept rising all the way up into the close of the day, right? We're now opening up within yesterday's value area. Looking at the hourly chart, you can see that inventory has just turned positive. We're looking like we're going to be trapping these sellers here underneath this point of control on the weekly chart. So weekly value area low here, right, which has provided support once, twice. We've got that strong sell bias here with those sellers coming in and buyers trying to trap them above the point of control. So this 39 area is going to become really important. So we're looking for that on volume. If we start seeing a lot of volume breaking above that 39, that'll be a good opportunity for going long, particularly if we start seeing price move above that sort of 46 area. And again, here above this 39, you can see you've got sellers trapped there. So if you look at this area here, you got there, sellers trapped by these buyers, and you've got the daily VWAP, nice little area here. So ahead of the open, you would expect to find dip buyers, right? Just with those buyers taking out those sellers. So I would be happy just to buy in ahead of the open. Stops just underneath the 5633. So I'm happy to have a little attempt at a move higher just with those sellers being trapped on volume. Delta is a little bit positive. So I will be led today by the price action, okay, and by the inventory as we go. So many headlines, so much contradictory things out there. It's going to be very tricky to trade this on a macro perspective purely. If we just zoom out and have a look at the E-mini, you can see we're in this sort of big range area. Had a rejection of that false break that attempted to move lower, and now we're trying to find a bit of support at this level. But obviously we've got the tariffs on Wednesday that's going to be driving the market, you know, and what markets really think about that's going to be crucial. We've got that bottom low, that 5,600 level. We saw that being tested yesterday and ultimately holding. So that 5,600 level, important area, and you got sellers trapped there now as we head into the open. So that's what I'm looking for. The important areas here, and obviously here. So the 5634 is a very important area, as is the 5639. Two very important areas there. We see we've had a pullback and a little kiss, a potential go on that as we go in to the area, and you can see that that is breaking out on volume. Right, so that's showing some good intention from buyers as we head into the open. Okay, folks, that is all to be looking at. Barkin is still speaking, and if we take a look at the calendar, I was going to see if we've got any other Fed speakers coming out later. Got a White House press briefing at 4, and we've got Trump signing executive orders at 8:30 UK time. So that's at the end of our session. White House press briefing, so it's coming at 5 UK, it's 4 GMT. So that's coming up at 12 Eastern time. And apart from that is the ISM data coming out at 3. So we've got about 45 minutes till that, and we've got 12 minutes to the open. Okay, folks, I was gonna make myself a cup of tea, and we'll be back shortly. And I'll be coming back here for the open. See you in a bit, folks. We've got a very important area here, that point of control on the weekly. Delta from the Globex open turning positive. Pullback, initial dip. 7 minutes to the open. See what's going on the 5. That could be worth me having a little look at. If we see these buyers able to trap these sellers on the 5, I'll go with that. Oh yes, saw mark. That's a nice one. Nice delta to the upside, nice delta to the downside. So it's a nice kind of candidate, right? Have a look on the 5. It's quite interesting to see if we get a break above. Got 15 seconds. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. I'm entering that on a buy. Just seeing those buyers trapping those sellers. I'll give that a little run, see if we get anything off it. And I'll take it off if I can just hit into that 646 area. Let's see. Maybe it's not going to give it to me. I got them trapped, but there's quite a lot of sellers that are stepping in up here. 3 minutes to the open. All right. Ooh, quite playful. 2 minutes to the open. Nice one. Nicely done. Okay, so there's a 50. There's a final test of that lower area. Give it a little bit longer. Let's see if I get a little rush up on the open. Got 30 seconds. It'll be interesting to see if these buyers get trapped here. That would be important.
That's 46.3, down from 47.8 on the Canadian S&P Global Manufacturing PMI for March, 46.3.
I'm out of that. Let's see. Got those buyers trapped on the 5. Let's have a little look on the 15 now. Now's the time to have a little buy just against those trapped sellers down here. Got those sellers trapped, so let's just see if that can be a little turnaround point. And then that standard deviation, nice sort of value area down here, which would be a good support. Nice area for potential buyers to come in. Rejection off that weekly point of control, so it's got a bit of a decision area down here. So we'll just watch how the price moves. Delta is negative from the open. Let's look at the velocity on the 5. Quite a lot of initial sellers. 500, 600 contract short. Point of control now at the 5633. Try to push back higher above here, but the initial momentum from the open has been clearly lower. We're now seeing some buyers step in. Let's see, 5 minute. So we're having them being bid up now, only so far as the daily VWAP for now. See if these, okay, some sellers getting trapped there. Let's see if they get trapped on the 1. Delta positive now for the session. Let's see how they react here around those sellers. So sellers coming back in on that quite strongly, holding above that point of control. So I'll enter a second buy there. Just with those sellers being trapped here, there's a chance we go back higher. Let's just see how we do. Point of control holding.
And next on the US calendar, in 10 minutes time, we are looking out for the final revision to the US S&P Global Manufacturing PMI print for March. The prior revision was 49.8.
Right, taking one position off just against that VWAP in case we don't get anything better. Right, taking the second one off as well. That looks like it wants to wheedle its way lower. So we've had those buyers getting trapped by those sellers there. Let's see where we go now. So decent day today. Got time for a rundown. So up 2,448 for this. And today was basically about just going with the rhythm. So yeah, decent day. The rhythm was just moving with the initial downside into these value area lows, and the best opportunity that I wanted to take on my live accounts, and unfortunately, because it moved so quickly, I didn't actually get to take it. But the best opportunity of the day for me was these buyers getting trapped here, sellers trapping them the point of control, and just looking for a move back up to that point of control and back down. They were the two best trades that I took of the day. Another good trade Najam had when he ran a long around that 5-630 region. I was in it, but for a slightly different reason. And Najam took a very nice sort of long up on that. I think it was up at this high here with a flag breakout. Yeah, that was the breakout here. Let's just show you. So you had the flagpole, you had the flag itself. Okay. Yeah, that was the second trade. Yeah, the first was the 5-6-2-3. Yeah. So just do the second trade first. Flagpole, breakout, and those sellers getting trapped on volume here. I entered just as those sellers were trapped, took a run up to the second standard deviation. Nice little move, you know, quite a good little run, sort of 5-6 points to the upside. Then taking longs off the bottom here with these sellers, getting the final sellers getting trapped here, going up to the standard deviation. And Najam got one in from the 5-6-2-3. And again, sellers getting trapped and then moving it up to the VWAP. I took a few longs off the first standard deviation when we clearly had sellers getting trapped. And you can see as we moved up through those highs, giving the conviction to hold and just pushing up into the daily VWAP. And final trades of the day, just looking at these trap sellers up here to see if we could get anything in line with the breakout. So breakout of the highs of yesterday at the 5-6-7-3, and very nice sort of breakout trade there was on the 5-6-7-3. Then we had a pullback and we had a couple of opportunities to go long on that pullback. One would have been off the sort of standard deviation here. So you pullback 5-6-7-3 breakout area, initial buy, and then looking to go long and short. In the end, I got it right with the longs as these buyers took out those sellers. Should have held to the second standard deviation, but just wanted to keep the day, you know, reasonably positive up at that 248 for session. Hopefully, get that passed later on in the week. So there we go, folks. The rundown for the day. Major lesson for the day. This was the sellers trapping all the buyers, but the delta was positive. So glad that I didn't end up just blindly selling from a retracement up to this 5-6-32 region, because it would have been a loser. And you can see here that yes, sellers have trapped all the buyers, but that the delta is building positively. So that was a question of looking at prior momentum and holding on for it too long. The downward momentum, the opportunity was there, but it was on the 5 minute at the time. As the 5 minute sellers broke through those buyers, that was the opportunity. And look, by the time we retraced back up that way, really, then the potential opportunity is more the other way as buyers push up and then the point of control holds. All right, folks, that is all for now. Thank you all very much. Take care and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Another announcement, for those who weren't here, Paul is focusing on some other projects for now, so he's not going to be joining us day to day, unfortunately. I'm going to miss him, but I will still be running it obviously day to day, but we won't have Paul. So still reach out to him on email, say hi and check in, but going forward it's going to be me in the room. So all right, folks, take care and look forward to see you tomorrow. And yeah, Liberation Day for the US, so we can brace for some volatility.